All right, back to it. We'll have Ivy back here in a minute. I found what I was hoping to find, and there is possible connections between Julian Assange and everything that happened in the White House in 2016 and beyond. Real connections, because the Obama administration hated him too, as you can imagine. All right, moving on for a moment here to Michigan House Rep. Steve Frisbie. He represents the 44th District. A retired vice president, paramedic at Life Care, ambulance, and adjunct professor at Kellogg Community College. Steve, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Always good to have you. All right, so our focus continues to be on the big problem we have here in Michigan. That's infrastructure. The most prevalent concern, roads. They're terrible in Michigan. I've talked to some people. I was talking to my cousin, actually. He lives in North Carolina. He says our roads are not good compared to South Carolina. He said they taxed them in South Carolina, but they got good roads. They do it different in North Carolina. We got bad roads. Michigan, we got taxed to the hilt and still have bad roads. We lost twice.
No return on investment at all.
And nothing. Crazy, right?
When you ignore them for decades, this is what happens. And we're at a point where if we don't react quickly, it's going to get more and more expensive because you'll be completely rebuilding roads.
Right. Why would any business come here? Why would any Fortune 500 company, a manufacturing company? We see $90 billion get invested into Pennsylvania. We see a brand new auto plant going to Indiana. The states around us are prospering. Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, they're prospering while we sit here and flounder.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, when people are looking at places to expand to, they often ask about the infrastructure, they ask about schools, and they ask about healthcare, and what's it like for a family. Well, a family in Michigan is great. Our roads stink. Our healthcare is pretty decent, but our schools have been declining, and our infrastructure is in really bad shape. So we've got to take action, and that's why we put forward our plan. And even the governor has said recently, only two people had the guts to put forward a roads plan, and that was Matt Hall and myself. So I think she would like to get this done, and we're hoping that she can help pressure the Senate Democrats into at least let's debate something.
Do you think that can you hand? I mean, I'm not a gambler really, but I do understand the concept of handicapping. Give me a 50-50, not 50-50.
I think it's a little bit better than 50%. We're kind of dug in of we want this done. We understand what people in the state want. They want their education repaired. They want their roads repaired. And they want us to balance our budgets and get some fiscal sanity back in this state.
Now, that would be nice. It'd be nice to attract business here. It'd be nice look, I spent last week in northern Michigan. I don't think there's a better place on the planet in July and August and September than northern Michigan. There's a reason Kid Rock sang about it, isn't there?
There is. And, that'll never change. What we do need to change is the environment of how do we attract businesses and how do we maintain the businesses that we have now that they are not looking to leave for greener pastures.
Yeah.
Kellogg's recently was sold. They're going through the process with Ferraro. They're going to go from a publicly traded to a privately held. And I asked the CEO of Kellogg's, what can we do to change the environment in Michigan so that we can attract and retain what we have and grow Michigan in a positive way? He said he'd love to have that conversation, and I'm going to take him up on it along with some other leaders throughout the state. And let's move forward when we get the opportunity.
Yeah. Fact of the matter is, with infrastructure in bad shape, dams, bridges, roads, you pick it in Michigan, and no real plan here to fix the place. And this neglect goes on in other states, but these high-tax states that continue to have problems with infrastructure because they squander the money. Look, Pennsylvania, its annual budget is $30 billion less, give or take, than Michigan. $30 billion less. It's a bigger state, geographically and population-wise, right?
Yep, that is very true.
And then what the then? Let me just put it this way: what the hell?
Well, I wish I knew where every penny went the last 2 years.
I'd like to know where any penny went.
The last 2 years when it expanded by 43%.
Yeah.
And the governor's proposal was to go up even more, and the Senate's proposal came over underwater, $4 billion underwater, which is unconstitutional. We have to pass a balanced budget constitutionally. So we sent it back to them and said, try again. They haven't done anything with it. So we have to start operating in reality and within realms that you and I have to live at home in our own budgets and affordability. And that's one of our major goals as the Republican House, is to make this state affordable. And right now, in the past 3 years, it really hasn't been. Donald Trump's helping, but the Democrat trifecta of 23 and 24 didn't help at all. They doubled down on policies that really made inflation worse.
Yeah. They squandered our money. They gave it away to corporation after corporation that promised jobs, and we got doodly squat.
Yeah,
that's pretty true, right? And, and it's not unlike what I just saw from a headline over the weekend. Joe Biden spent $10 billion on EVs for the United States Postal Service. You know how many we got? 250 freaking cars for $10 billion. So I asked Ivy this over the weekend. How many cars could you get for $10 billion? How many gallons of gas and diesel could you get for $10 billion? I mean, this is how, and look, Washington's no better and no different than Lansing. They squander money. MEDC squanders money, taxpayer money out the door. It's just a disaster. Anyhow,
yep.
I'm in a mood today. I'll give you the last
That's the
word.
beauty of our roads plan, is that it takes away some of this corporate spending where the mega credits and those kind of things come back into the roads. The one thing that I think we're at that point, and we've been at that point for a long time, is it's going to take some general fund dollars. And that's what this plan does, is for the moving forward, put $3 billion a year into roads. And we have to go at that clip because we're so far behind. But that's our job as government. We build it, we should maintain it, not wait for a crisis to stick our hand out and say we need more money. So that's what our plan revolves around, of no new taxes, no new fees, taking everything at the pump and putting it towards roads, bridges, and moving forward, and try to maintain it for the long term, not the short term.
Yeah, agree with that. Mr. Frisbie, I always appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you.
Anytime. Have a great day.
You too. Gas, by the way, continues to be cheaper than it has been, right? Gas prices $3.14 national average. It was $3.15 a week ago, $3.21 a month ago, $3.50 a year ago. Gas prices better in the summer of 2025 than they've been in a long time. Diesel, same thing. Cheaper than it was a week ago, a month ago, and a year ago. Thank you, Donald Trump, for your fiscal responsibility, right? There you have your gas prices for today. Ivy's going to be back in the hot seat here in a second. All right, got that. Meanwhile, silver, by the way, is about to hit $40 an ounce. $40 an ounce. It is on a rocket sled, that's for sure. I'll take a break and be back with Ivy after this. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Find out more. Send me an email, stevegruber.com.